We are sitting on the couch. We're holding a glass of bourbon. It's Friday afternoon, so this must be our On the Couch Friday Afternoon Bourbon Edition. We are going to talk about ideas that will harm your 401k plan. That's the general concept. We've got 3 different little ideas inside there. One of them is always fill out your beneficiary designation forms, all right? You have absolutely no idea. And the guy who used to work at a bank, his head is about to fall off his neck. He's nodding his head so hard.
So is it a good idea to write in beneficiary spouse?
You know, that's an old thing. Spouse is okay as a beneficiary designation because they changed how the documents are written. If you're on an up-to-date document, if you're married to wife 1, I'm only ever going to be married to wife 1. I know how to answer this question properly. Okay. If you're married to wife 1, when you fill out your beneficiary designation form and you fill out spouse, okay, if you get divorced, there was the idea before, I hope I'm saying this right, that spouse, because that was the person who signed.
That your form was evergreen because you put spouse, not a name.
Your form is not evergreen. That's the best way to put it, all right? But what is really important, what is best practices, is to keep your beneficiary designation forms up to date. When you have a change in your life, change your beneficiary designation form. It will make your heirs and everybody around you a lot happier. Not that you're dead, but that we can pay the money out a lot easier. So, all right?
Well,
how's
you're
that?
So sentimental.
That was good. All right. Now then, another one. Number
Sorry.
That was almost a Dr. Evil cackle. That was great, because we were going to talk about owner-only 401k plans. All right. So, because what the note says is owner-only plans with employees, and then what I wanted as a reminder was people even put solo in the name of the plan like it means something. All right. There's a thought.
Star Wars wannabes, right? They want to be Han Solo.
Plan solo. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Right. So, people think that an owner-only 401k plan is something special. It isn't. There's no such thing as an owner-only 401k plan. All right? Plans that are not subject to the DOL, that have no rank and file employees eligible for the plan or in the plan, have different 5,500 filing rules. That's it.
Well, it's more like a tag. You're tagging it as
right.
It's not this big noun of a separate
Correct.
entity. It's
exactly right. That's a really good phrase. It is a tag. It's not its own thing. It is a type of 401k plan. Just because you think you have an owner-only 401k plan doesn't mean you get to exclude your staff from the plan.
And if you hire some staff, it was a tag. It wasn't
right.
a noun.
So you have to pay attention to when the staff comes into play. So just because you think you've got a plan document that says solo 401k on it.
Well, what about part-time employees now these days?
Okay, so that's a really fun little wrinkle. There's a rule from the Secure Act of December of 2019, back in the before times, all right, that says that for employees who have worked 3 consecutive years working 500 hours or more, and we start in 2021, so that means for 2021, 2022, and 2023, if you have an employee that has worked for you for more than 500 hours in each of those 3 years consecutively, it's not an average of 500 hours, it's at least 500 hours in each year consecutively, they get the right to defer in the plan starting in 2024. So that means that if you think you have an owner-only plan and you've got somebody opening mail, taking care of billing, I don't know, taking out the trash or something like that, 502 hours a year, that you no longer have an owner-only plan starting January 1st of 2024. You take the tag off the plan, you've got fiduciary responsibilities, you've got all that other stuff, and you're not, and all that 5,500 exception rule goes away. You don't have to give them an employer contribution. You don't have to include them in testing, but you no longer have an owner-only plan. How's that sound?
Keep track.
Keep track of your employees.
Keep
all
track.
Right. And third, make sure your statements come direct from the custodian.
Oh, I see. The Bertie Madoff thing.
as an example, or the other people think. All right.
You know, if somebody named Bernie is making your statements,
Yeah,
that's a
maybe
clue.
that might not be a good thing. All right.
That's a clue.
So what we're talking about here is, well, there's bad people out there, and they will steal from anybody they can. That includes people's retirement plans. All of the scams that we've heard about where people have been caught, all right, is that somebody involved in the process was making fake statements for the plan sponsor, because the plan sponsor didn't want to be bothered to review the actual source document. They had them sent to somebody else who prepared summary statements for them. Well, the statements all began once upon a time, okay, because they bore no relationship to reality. And when it comes time, it's bad, all right? We're going to have a little bit of editing here, but it's bad. People have ended up with absolutely $0 in the retirement plan because they took a couple of shortcuts and had somebody else prepare their asset statements for them. So what we're talking about here, best practices, is make sure if your money's at Fidelity, have Fidelity send you the statements. If your money's at Schwab, have Schwab send you the statements. If your money's at John Hancock, make sure you can log in directly online and see what's going on in your plan.
Convenience is one thing, but you still have the fiduciary responsibility to pay attention.
I mean, you don't go to the restaurant with the keys in the car, right? Okay? You don't go away on vacation with the front door wide open on purpose, right? Well, one presumes not, okay? So, get your statements direct from the custodian.
I would say straight up, don't take money out of paychecks without knowing where it's going. And
Well,
how it
that's
got
another
there.
thing.
I don't know. There's just a simple, like, you send money, make sure it's where you thought it was going.
That's another good thing.
Yep.
Oh,
This is Katherine and Christopher Tipper, and we are saying thank you
Thank
for
you very much.
spending
Thank you.
these few minutes with us, and we hope that they were entertaining and or educational. Take your pick.
And you know what to do. Like, subscribe. Don't like. Just communicate with us.
I would prefer you to like.
Well, I prefer you to like. I just want a little interaction here. It's lonely at Hunter Benefits. Huh?
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. All that stuff. Yeah. So we got sales at hunterbenefits.com and hunterbenefits.com up there. Send us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Take care.
Take care.